and welcome to the Point in Progress podcast, episode 2, your one-stop shop for news, recommendations, and some spicy takes. Join 5 friends across 3 time zones and 2 countries every week as we discuss all things that we love while still thinking critically about them. Hello, everybody. My name is Mario Rivera, and I got some snow bike mic energy going on right now, and I'm very excited.
You do.
Of course, joining with me, I have the illustrious Sly Clone MC. How you doing, Sly?
Illustrious? That word has never been described as me in my life.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to give everybody some new flavor and new sense.
Give it to everybody else some new Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some new Kool-Aid. It's a new year, new Kool-Aid. We need new flavors out up in here.
Oh my god.
Also, go ahead. No. Okay. Also joining us, someone with a wonderful beard. Harv, how are you doing, Harv?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I have no words. But has there been a new flavor of Kool-Aid in a while?
No.
Like, has there been a new flavor of Kool-Aid? Because peach is, not peach. Sorry, the fruit punch is the best one, right?
Fruit punch is the best one.
Fruit punch is pretty good. I like the grape.
Yeah, grape is good. No, I agree with you. Grape is good.
No, that's good.
100%.
That's that's all I got.
No, totally. And of course, the grape lover himself, Frank Villagomez, Venom Unfit Snake. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I have a cat.
Oh, we have a special guest this evening.
We got a special guest. This is my cat. How you doing? Say something nice to the camera. All right, you want to be shy? That's fine. Hi, how's it going? She's just been chilling here since the podcast started.
We've been hanging out for about 50 minutes before the podcast, and I had no idea you were holding on to a cat the entire time. That is
she's been chilling here.
Incredible. Incredible. Oh, boy. And, of course, we also have my friend who is 2 Moscow's mules deep right now. Is that correct? Fiona? How you doing, Fiona?
About to be a third.
Yeah, whoa!
Shotgunning
I'm only like 1.5 right now. Leave me alone. Hi.
By the way, is that
Can
straw
you tell-
eco-friendly?
It is. It's glass. You can buy it on Amazon. It's important, guys. Except the fact that I'm very clumsy and I've had to tell myself every time that I have a drink that I cannot drink while I'm walking with a glass straw. Thumbs up. Safety tips from Fee. You're welcome.
I feel like that's fair when it comes to any kind of straw for me. Just don't drink out of a straw while you're walking.
Poke your eye out.
I would think so, but
Well,
No.
clearly we're all having a good time. We're all having our little drinks. We're having our celebrations. We're getting ready for the weekend. So I'm very, very much excited to get this podcast on the go. Of course, we are starting with our segment 1, the checkpoint. To start, we're going to be doing the housekeeping, which of course is, hey, we have a podcast. We are in many places. Please find us. We have a YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel, right now, we're at 80 subscribers. We are so close to getting our vanity URL. But for now, I would say if you go to basically bit.ly, bit.ly/PiP, P-I-P, YouTube, and that will take you straight to the YouTube for right now. But if we get enough subscribers, we get our vanity one, so you can just search for our name and we just pop right on up. So I'm so excited. We are so close. Yes, finger hand, jazz hands.
This is applause, my dude.
I know. What we also have, of course, is a little community that's building here at the we have our own personal Point in Progress Discord, which of course you can find under our link tree, which I will give a link tree. It would be, of course, linktr.ee/Point in Progress, PONTINPOROGRESS. Oh, I need to breathe.
It's all gonna be in the description too.
I was so close. I'm so sorry.
It's all gonna be in the description.
You almost had it. That was pretty good.
I was doing my best. But yes,
it's all going to be in the description too.
Yes, all in our descriptions, of course, and everything else you'll be able to find under that link tree. So very much excited for you to join us on our wonderful venture that we have going on here. Of course, we're also just want to say thank you everyone that gave us a welcoming reception for our first episode. It was very positive and overwhelming. So thank you so much for everyone that's joined the Discord already and the future people that are coming. I'm so happy. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. That really, really warmed my heart. So especially since it was sort of a really busy week for me last week. So again, thank you. Okay, so on to the podcast. We're going to be moving on to what have we been playing / watching / enjoying. So first, I'm actually going to give it to Fee. Fee, what have you actually been enjoying / playing this week?
Great question. So I have been playing Enter the Gungeon on Stadia. It's been a lot of fun. I'm not very good at it, and I play as essentially the add-on character for co-op, and I always fall into an abyss. I'm not very good at it, but it's a lot of fun, and I would highly recommend it. As I mentioned last week, it's very much Binding of Isaac-esque, so I would highly recommend it. Also, I was on a podcast this week specifically talking about romance anime, so I've just been constantly binging romance anime for the past week. I started watching one before the podcast, but I've continued watching it, which is Fiona of the Dawn. Highly recommend it. It's a comedy romance / fantasy where a young princess has a birthday party and the guy that she loves kills her father, who's the king. And so she becomes abandoned and has to find the 4 dragon warriors, which kind of reminds me, like, it has almost like an Inuyasha / like, I almost like think like Dragon Ball, because you have to like collect these dragons, but it's literally there's only one season. Highly recommend it. It's very bingeable. All the characters are super funny, and it just seems super whack. What's up, Harv?
That is not the twist that I saw coming. You said a romance anime, and it's all of a sudden somebody kills their father and have to go fight 4 dragons. That is not the twist I thought that was coming on that one.
It's literally like it's like fantasy, adventure, and then like romance, and then there's comedy afterwards. So comedy and romance are kind of an afterthought. But I think it's really good, and I think I like it because of that, because it's very much about like a young girl who realizes like, hey, I was a princess and now I need to like save the kingdom, and she realizes a bunch of stuff on her adventure, and she becomes a badass. Like, she's a badass archer. Shocker and spoiler. She becomes like, I can shoot as many arrows as I can and I will kill everyone I can. So like, congratulations to her. Like, we love a glow up.
We love a glow up.
Frank, did you have a question?
How far are we in this already that we're already talking about anime? I think that's a record right there.
I mean, she was up first, so it makes sense, right? It makes sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would highly recommend it. What's up?
Your mic's doing the clipping thing again.
That's the internet. I think that's her internet.
Is it the internet?
Yeah, yeah. It's that Canadian internet, you know?
It's my computer, not my internet.
I'm just joking.
My computer is like dying.
We have some time till next Valentine's Day. So
that poor soldier.
That poor soldier. Oh man!
At least I didn't do like the Attack on Titan salute.
I had to ask about that because I was like, you started with romance, and then all of a sudden you went on this whole fucking tangent of like finding dragons. And I was like, wait, what?
Anime is a hell of a drug.
They're dragon warriors.
Okay.
Just saying, they're not specific dragons.
Then you start comparing it to Dragon Ball. I'm just saying.
Okay.
People are like, what? Like I said, Inuyasha, but I didn't think people would understand that as much because Dragon Ball seems a lot more mainstream, and that's why I specifically said it.
Yeah,
fair.
No, for sure. Okay, fair enough. Moving on, Sly, what have you been playing? I know you have an update on Concrete Genie that you talked about last week.
Yeah, so I platinumed it.
You
platinumed
it?
Fun.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
let's
a really
go.
easy plat. So basically, yeah, I didn't. The only thing I looked up before playing it was if there was anything missable. There isn't. So I just kind of mainlined the story. It's really short, which was perfect. It was exactly what I needed. Game is gorgeous. Like the story is really cute. It was super fun. My one little issue with the game is that there is some gyro with the painting, like with your controller controlling where to go.
Yeah.
And that was not a problem for me specifically, except for the billboards where you had to be very accurate. And that's the only time you really have to be very accurate with your movement. And there was, I think, 5 of them, and you could retry them. So it wasn't like too horrible, but I did have a little bit of that because I have poor fine motor skills.
Sure.
But yeah, so I mainlined the story pretty much and then went back through, and there's 3 or 4 areas to get collectibles. Some of them you can only get after you finish the story, which is why I didn't try to get a bunch of them while I was doing the story. I just kind of wanted to enjoy it and then go back through the world after the story was done. But yeah, it was great. I loved it. It was, again, exactly what I needed right now. And it was super enjoyable.
That's awesome. I'm really excited to play that game because I downloaded it for free. Well, I actually paid for it last month. It is now available for free if you have PlayStation Plus. So if you have not, if you didn't want to pay for it before, it was a $40, $30 game. This is a perfect opportunity to grab it for just $10 if you want to just play it for the month. So by all means, and you get Control and some other game. I'm not even sure what the other game is, but still Control and Concrete Genie, definitely worth it.
One thing I'll say, I don't know why people or like companies try to do motion controls. Like they try to like pigeonhole motion controls into games.
Oh, we'll definitely talk about that later.
Okay, we're going to be talking about that later with another game. But like that was the same problem that I had with Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild too.
Sure.
The same thing what you're talking about, Sly. Like it's like it's there. It works, but it's inconvenient in a way, right?
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
where you
the thing is, with Concrete Genie, the game is you're an artist and you're painting like graffiti, so it fits. But yeah, for sure. I'm usually not a fan of motion controls, but I thought the way they did it was pretty good, except for the billboards.
Okay. Anything else you've been doing?
Yes. So I've obsessively listened to podcasts, which is fun. So I've decided I'm just going to shout out a podcast that I listen to each week. And so this week I listened to Surreal Love. It's microfiction, audio drama. It came out on February 14th.
It's a good day to release something, right?
25. Yeah. It released about 25 episodes, and one dropped every hour. And it was really cool experience that every hour there was a new episode. And it's microfiction. It's a super short listen. And it was just really cool. It was Caroline Minks and A.R. Olivieri, who are like some of my favorite people in podcasting. And they were working together, which is awesome. A.R. Olivieri has done so many amazing shows. And then Caro actually worked on Seen and Not Heard, which I recommended last week. So that's cool.
Very nice, Ty. I
do love that
you're sneaking in little recommendations, which is a segment that we have later this week. So I love that you're doing it every podcast.
There are many.
No,
I like it.
No, I also like this the idea of the release of like every hour there was something. Like it's very much like the Markiplier thing that he did last year, where he did like a whole channel of just stuff that he wanted, and then he deleted everything. Just weird avant-garde like little projects like that is kind of exciting. So that's pretty cool. Sure. Frank, are you still playing Tarkov, or have you moved on to anything else?
I've taken a break from Tarkov. My computer, for some reason, was having a problem with it, so I got that fixed. But I've been playing Mafia Definitive Edition. I finally finished it last night. It barreled through the last of the story. I give it a gabagool out of 5. I've also been playing...
Is that one gabagool, or is that 5 gabagools?
It's just it's a gabagool. Take that how you will. The game's really good. I don't think the racing section's very great. They should obviously have taken that out. But the overall story is I loved it. I loved every second of it. It was like a Martin Scorsese film, but better.
Better?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I just like the way it was structured. There's not a lot of that like just too long scenes. You know what I mean?
Frank, I don't want to call you out.
So you-
have you seen Goodfellas?
Goodfellas is okay.
So you're saying The
Goodfellas is
Irishman, a
Carl's better.
5-hour movie of The Irishman, wasn't good?
No. I'm gonna
You
be
have
canceled
not-
for that. We all gotta
also
get
you-
canceled for something. I just don't think Martin Scorsese's films are that great.
Also, you've never seen The Goodfellas?
What? The
Yeah,
Color
I've
of
seen
Money?
Goodfellas.
Hustler?
Okay. Goodfellas is
Yeah.
dude, Marcus Scorsese made some amazing films.
He makes some
Amazing
some good films. It's just I don't hold him
Irishman.
to that same regard a lot of people do.
We
And
know
then
what Frank's next hot take is going to be.
That's right. We're going to force him to watch King
Mario
Kong
and I have
Taxi
had this
Driver.
conversation.
No, we have never
before.
had this conversation before.
Yes,
It's driving me
we've had it
mad.
at work before. And
sick
then
right
I just been playing Payday 2 with Monzi, just leveling up, getting my infamy up. That game is just it's fun to play when you're really bored because it's a power trip. That's all it is. And that's it. That's all I've really been doing this week.
No, okay. No, that's fair. Harv, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm back on my shit again, which means I'm doing Sekiro speed runs of the entire game, and I've been trying to get my personal best down to within an hour of the game. So far this week, I hit an hour and 4 minutes for the
Okay.
game. So like, I'm 4 minutes off. 4 minutes off in this game. And yesterday, I was so close to beating my personal best. Not under an hour, but like I got to about an hour and 1 minute. And then I died on the last hit, which ruined the entire run on the last boss.
You hate to see it.
And oh my god, I'm ready to throw my controller through a wall.
It would have made for some good content.
Right? Yeah. But no, I've been playing that. It's just this game has pretty much like brought out like this love for Sekiro again for me, just doing speedruns and stuff like that because like I wanted something fresh with it. So that's awesome. And the other thing that I've been playing is Zombies. So Call of Duty Zombies came out with a new map, Firebase Z, and it is a much better map than D Machine was because they have so many more different areas that you can make trains in for zombies wise and stuff like that. But it is also harder because you can't get to getting to high rounds is much tougher. So like I put a personal goal on myself where every time there's a new map out for zombies, I want to do 100. I want to get to around 100, for example. And I just can't do it on this map because it's just more difficult. But like I'm gonna try before the new map comes out. I think the new map's coming out first week of March.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get to that point for this one, and it's a really, really good map. The story is really good. The Easter eggs are really, really good. They're creepy AF, but like the story the way that they're progressing the story is really, really good. But I'm so excited. Zombies is just such a good mode that they added this year to Call of Duty, and I'm so excited for it. So freaking excited for it. And also, I don't know if this is the perfect time to do this, or the good time to do this, but like I'm also working on a podcast on the side as well. So like that has also taken a little bit of part of my week, which when it comes to like small content creators and stuff like that. So I am creating a podcast every week, interviewing different smaller streamers and just seeing what their process is of like creating a podcast or creating content, why they make the content, and where they see their content going. Kind of type thing. So
No,
that has been my week of playing games. So nothing new, sadly, but here we are. Here we are. I mean, to be fair, there's not really that many new things coming out right now. I guess.
I'm about to talk about two of the newest things out.
I know you're about to talk about two of the newest things. I saw that, but like I don't know.
That's fine.
You know what? I'm gonna talk about it while you talk about it.
Fair enough.
When you talk about your thing, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. So yeah, I've been playing a little game called Super Mario 3D World, which of course released last Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I never played this one because I didn't own a Wii U. Because who did?
I did.
Well, because you're a masochist.
A lot of people did.
I'm kidding. Not enough. It was about 13 million, I think, people owned it.
I was one of those 13 million schmucks.
Hey, there you go.
Unfortunately.
Thank God, majority of the games are being ported to the Switch. But basically, yes, this is my first time playing it. I've been doing it on my stream on twitch.tv/thatmarrivera. See, everyone's plugging their own stuff. And I've been having a good time with it. I've been just getting through the levels and just sort of like micro playing in terms of like just getting through the different worlds. And I could see where the chaos could come when you have like multiple people, but I don't think I would enjoy it that well if I played it with other people. I think I enjoy Mario games just by myself, which is great because there's also the other package to it, which is Bowser's Fury, which, wow, Bowser's Fury is a revelation, guys. Bowser's Fury is actually pretty great. If you played Mario Odyssey or any of the 3D Mario games, this is very much like in line with that, Harv.
So this is what I wanted to ask, because I played 3D World already, right? So
yes.
I thought it was a great game. So this is why I didn't buy it, because like I've already played 3D World and I don't want to pay the $70 or I guess here it's $100 for that game, right?
Yeah.
So Bowser's Fury looks, it's gonna stay like that for like the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I see Bowser's Fury, do you see that direction for Mario now? Like, do you see that? Because it's like it's open world, but at the same time you don't like jump into different worlds at the same time, kind of type thing, right? You know, like how Mario 64 was. Mario Sunshine is kind of like the same thing too. Odyssey is the same way, where you jump into the planets and stuff like that, right? So like, is it like complete? Like, do you see Mario going that direction?
Either this is just a tech demo for something that could happen in the future. Like, if I could take, like, let's just say they're going to do Galaxy 3. Not saying that they are. But let's just say you have different galaxies that you can go to, like the Milky Way, the Andromeda, and some other, And what if those different galaxies were big, expansive places that you could visit that are all loaded in the same level? So when you play Bowser's Fury, you load up in the beginning. It takes a little bit. It is the Switch. But once you get in, you're never load again. The game just continues. It just keeps going. The level has, once you get one of the shines, it just automatically resets the area to the next shine that you get. So there's like 5 or 4 or whatever, how many shines. And it's awesome because there's constantly a new replay loop for the same area in different ways, which is really nice. And then, of course, the big crux of this, of course, is that it has a lot of elements from like Mario Paint and 3D World kind of mixed together. Not Mario Paint, Sunshine, because everything's covered in like a black muck. And Bowser's mad. And so Mario gets brought in, and he actually teams up with Bowser Jr. And basically you work together to stop his father from being all gooky, just like all covered in muck. And basically every 15 minutes or so, he goes aggro, and then he starts firing at you while you're in the levels. And then once you get to a certain point, you actually become really big, just like him. And then it's like a kaiju fight where you have to like fight against this level. And then you sort of, when you beat him, it opens up more parts to this giant open world that you then can explore even further, which has another set of like a bunch of different shines. Apparently there's like over 100 shines for this small little game that you could supposedly beat in 3 hours. It is taking me a little longer because I'm not the best Mario player. But at the same time, there's so much to do in this seemingly small world that it's like, if they wanted to do like 3 separate of these, I think it's something that they could absolutely do, and it cuts down on so much. And I honestly think it's so much fun because it's all that Mario stuff that you like, just expanded upon in sort of different areas. So I'm having a blast with it, especially since I was a huge fan of Odyssey. I love Galaxy. Galaxy is my favorite one still. So this has a lot of those elements, and I'm just having a blast specifically.
I'm liking everything you're saying. Like,
yes.
I'm loving everything you're saying. Minus the whole him every 15 minutes he's aggroing.
There's a way to stop him from doing it though. It's when you're like, if you can, because he has tells. You can see when he's like about to go, and then so if you're right next to a shine and he goes off, if you touch the shine, he immediately goes away and he's damaged. So the next time you go kaiju, his health bar is actually lessened. So there's a reward benefit to doing it, even though he does it every so often. I wouldn't say it's 15 minutes, but it does feel like 15 minutes.
I do like the open world of it, right? Because like I feel like Mario needs kind of like a, like, I love Mario Odyssey. Don't get me wrong, I love that game. Mm-hmm. That, like, 3D Mario is like one of my favorite games of, like, those types of games are my favorite types of games. Mario 64 is one of my top games of all time. Like, it's in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Sunshine was kind of like, and then Mario Galaxy was on there as well. Like, that is like one of the best games I've played as well. And it's like I want them to kind of reinvigorate Mario, because Mario Odyssey felt like it was a really, really good game. It was done very, very well, but I feel like it was just kind of the same in a way,
Sure.
where like you jump into a world, you're just doing the same thing, you're getting
Yeah.
a star, like that kind of type thing. So I'm excited for them to like go more
Yeah.
open world, but as long as they don't go full on open world.
Yeah, I think when we said years ago, like everyone's gonna start doing the Breath of the Wild thing. This is that's true. That's this. This is very much.
I just don't want them to go the Assassin's Creed route, where they're just like quests and sub quests and all that kind of shit. I just want them to just
There's like 5 designated in this area. You go do it, but it does seem to like lead you to do one specific ones. But they're pretty fun activities, to be fair. But yeah, I highly recommend it. I think it's worth the $60 because I never played obviously the original path, but this other piece is just so good. And I
wish it would sell it separately.
Yeah,
I would play it separately.
No, 100%. I think they should.
Yeah,
I don't think they will.
Yeah,
a Modern Warfare tie-in.
At a price tag of $100, I don't think I could justify buying.
I understand
that, right? But like, I want to experience that. I want to play it, but maybe at some point.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that. And then, of course, the second thing that I've been playing, and I just started playing last night, I put 5 hours into it, of course, is Persona 5 Strikers. Me and Snake, or I keep calling you Snake, Frank, are huge Persona fans. Anybody else here a huge Persona 5 fan? Anybody else? Harv as well, a little bit.
I played 4 Golden, but that was
okay. No, that's cool.
I got a cool I got a cool 4 golden statue somewhere.
I put a cool 140 hours into Persona 5.
Yeah.
I played it.
I love that.
No, I know.
I love that. I love that game.
Persona
man.
5
is so good.
I love it. I love its all its problems, but I love Persona 5 dearly. I'm still in the middle of Royal. So what is great about Strikers is that you don't actually have to play Royal because none of those story elements are carried over. So if you played 5, I do recommend to play 5 first. Then you can play this or play Royal, obviously. But yeah, it continues months after the Persona 5 story, and everyone's back, and there's a new problem, and you have to solve it. And it's done in a Muso game, which is a game type I never played before. I've actually somehow managed to avoid every single Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, all those games I completely missed. Yes, those are all titles.
You say Daddy Warriors?
Dynasty Warriors.
That's Dynasty Warriors.
Daddy Warriors.
That's where you lose me because I do not like Muso games at all.
No, understandable.
I'm just not a fan of those games.
Yeah.
So like I think for this one, I think I'm just gonna like watch what like cutscenes.
No, don't do that. So what they did,
play this one. Play this one.
And the reason why is because they infuse all of the love of the Persona games into the actual gameplay. That it actually is very welcoming, and everything that is canon in those games, like weaknesses and abilities, baton passes, it's all in the gameplay. So all the things that you're used to, they just take away the turn-based element of it, but still keep all of the things that are true of the Persona world, including the menus, the way you walk. You walk into the same Shibuya place, you go back to LeBlanc, you walk the same streets, the medic is still there, the music. If you buy the deluxe edition, you get every single Persona song ever in the game.
Oh my
and
God,
whenever
dude.
you fight, and it randomly chooses, if you can set it to random, or you can set it to your specific game that you like, you can just have Persona music playing from all the ages. It is a wonderful love letter. It is, of course, that has the same problem as the dancing games and the fighting games, which of course it's heavy up front with exposition and stuff like that. Fee, you have something to say?
I was just cracking my fingers, but also continue, and then I'll add my comments afterwards.
No, I that's basically what I say. So Harv, I know that you want to skip out on it. I don't. If you are a huge fan of this, you will love it.
I'm not gonna skip on it because, like, dude, I was thinking like when you said like the menus and stuff like that. I don't think I've seen a game. I don't think I've played a game that has more style.
Yes.
Oh man.
As Persona 5.
100%.
Persona 5.
Like, name a game that has more style than Persona 5 because that is just like it's ridiculous how much that game styles or how much that oozes with style.
Yeah.
That game right there.
No, 100%.
When it comes from menuing, when it comes to like the fighting style, when it comes to just like the world itself. Yeah. And it's just like, man, because I have never played a Persona game before that. Persona 5 was my first foray into it. And I just fell down like a rabbit hole with that game. And then I played Persona 4 Golden, which I really, really enjoyed as well. Like, I really love that game. But Persona 5 is just like on a whole different level for me.
Yeah,
like
even the way you like even the way you like leave like a battle, like once the battle ends, the way they like transitions back to gameplay is just like holy shit. Like
Dude, that
I can't
music,
think of
that
any
music.
turn-based RPG that does it that good.
Yeah.
That like it plays the music, it shows your stats, your characters are already running, and then it transitions back to gameplay like seamlessly.
So good,
game
dude.
is so
good.
Yeah, no,
So
100%. I heavily much adore this game. The best part I think is early on you play originally with like 3 characters, but then it immediately opens up with everybody, and then you can just swap them in and out during battles. So heavily enjoy this game. Fee, you said you had some comments. Let me have it.
One, I've played Dynasty Warriors.
Okay.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
not played a Persona game in my life.
Okay.
I've been told I need to play Persona, and yeah,
I scolded
mostly
you
because
yesterday about it.
Frank was specific. Yeah, he was scolding me because he's just like, you like dark-haired protagonists and you haven't played Persona, and I said, yeah, that's correct. Mostly because the Joker has black hair, and I'm like, I mean, that's true, but yeah, no, I just wanted to say that I did play. I think I don't even remember. I played them in high school. I played Dynasty Warriors, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you like turn-based RPGs, I don't know if you like turn-based RPGs. If you're like a fan of those kind of games, this Persona 5 is that. But I feel like it takes that turn-based RPG and like, puts like it's an evolution of turn-based RPGs where you have like the capturing of like the different personas. You have like the all-out attacks. You have the baton pass. It's faster. Right, it's more modernized.
Yeah.
It feels
compared to like a Final Fantasy 9 or a Final Fantasy 10 or a Final Fantasy something like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's just it puts turn-based into people that like don't like turn-based games, and I think most people play that game and like, well, this is different, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Because it is faster.
I do have something to say on that. Persona 5 does a really good thing. I don't think 3 and 4 do this as well, but it feels almost rhythmic the way you move around in like just fight in Persona 5. Like you move, you know the weaknesses. At some point you're just hitting buttons and the combat doesn't feel like it's turn-based anymore. It feels like you're really controlling it.
Yeah.
Which is what I don't get from most other turn-based. Most other turn-based usually just it's slow and you hit a button, you wait a second, an animation happens, you see the animation hit somebody, character reacts, it goes back to the next phase. This one, there's great animations. The animations are usually a lot faster. The enemies react a lot more than you usually see in a turn-based, and then even just like on-screen prompts, it just makes it so much more of an enjoyable experience than like most turn-based in my
They
opinion.
try to change that with like with Final Fantasy 7 with active with ATB, right? They try to change it so like it's not one of the static screens where you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything here. I'm just going to wait. I have all this time here to like choose what I want to do, right? If I want to go cast a spell, if I want to attack and stuff like that. They tried adding that to Final Fantasy games with ATB and Final Fantasy 8 and stuff, but like I feel like Persona just took that and just like ran with it, and they just nailed it in that aspect. They perfected it.
They did a great job. I do recommend checking this out for sure.
Yeah.
But I think we've definitely gone long enough to talk about what we've been playing. I think we should move on to our segment 2, of course, the patch notes.
Yes.
Here we go.
So
Frank, throw it to you, baby.
Notes. Yeah. Our first article this week comes from IGN. Nintendo Direct February 2021. Everything announced, including The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD by Adam Bankhurst. So, guys, earlier this week, Nintendo had their first full Direct since September of 2019. It's been that long. Of course, they had their minis, right? They had their minis, but this is the first full Direct since September of 2019. It had its share of announcements. You know, we might like some of them, we might not like all of them, but what do we think about it?
I was bored. No, I'm kidding.
I was also bored.
There was a lot.
Continue.
There was a lot. Okay, there's a few things in there. I'm like, great, but as the coming back party of like, hey, we haven't done this in forever. I just think that it was very lackluster for what they had. And I honestly don't know what the fault is. If the fault is obviously the pandemic, which is a big factor, I totally can get that for a lot of games. They even had to apologize, which they do often when things get delayed. But at the same time, I just hope that there's some more stuff in the future that I can look forward to, because a lot of the things that excited me are still not even this year. They're like around the corner.
2022.
Yeah, Feet, you have something to say? Oh, sorry. Every time I see your hand up, you keep raising your hand, and I'm like, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna throw it to you. I don't know.
I know you're
you
hyped
can
about
throw it to
something,
me.
P.
Yeah, you're hyped about something. Right?
Yes, I'm super freaking excited, guys. I don't know if you guys know this. I love mystery games. I love trying to figure out a murder mystery, specifically Famicom. Oh my god. I love the fact that I was watching Harv stream and it's like, this is such a fee game. I don't know what else to say other than the fact it's such a fee game. I was screaming. I was so excited because I've heard really good things about it, but it has never been brought over to the Western market. And so being able to see it, and not only that, it looks phenomenal for a RPG murder mystery game. I freaked the hell out. So I'm so excited to see that. And I know, I definitely agree. A lot of people aren't super excited about what happened at the Nintendo Direct, but I also know that a lot of people were, because I've literally watched people cry because of Splatoon 3. When I know for a lot of us, it wasn't super exciting, but some people were like, it was like seeing, I don't know, a miracle happen. Which, by the way, I kind of wish they brought Mario Kart before they brought another Splatoon game.
Or anything else before another Splatoon.
I love you just shitting on Splatoon while praising it at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, here I am. This is me. I also was slightly upset because they were going to, a lot of Ace Attorney fans, which I am one of them, which, shocker, it's a detective/lawyer game that is a lot of mystery-esque kind of options, even though that's not how things work, and lawyers are not detectives. But I'm not here to talk about why Phoenix Wright doesn't work properly. I mean, here, I could talk about that at a later date. They're actually in talks to bring one of the IPs that was released in Japan but was never brought over to the West, which was a early 19th century, before, I think it was in the 1800s specifically, where Ace Attorney's great-great-grandfather is a lawyer, and he does a bunch of stuff. So a lot of us, I know the small community who's really hyped about Ace Attorney, we're really, really hoping for that in this showcase, but I understand they probably didn't do that because they've also said that it's going to be coming for PlayStation. And Nintendo likes to be kind of a little petty, and the second that it's just it's not an IP that's just for Nintendo, that's not going to be shown at a Direct. And so that's why I was really excited to see Famicom. But yeah, thumbs up.
I want to say the Famicom stuff, that Famicom mystery stuff, looked awesome because it was something that I have not seen in a mystery game before, where they have animated cutscenes in a way, or animated people in their cutscenes when they're talking and stuff. I was like, man, this actually looks really fucking good.
This is a remake, isn't it? Or a bring
this is a remake. Yeah, this is a remake, and they're bringing it to the West, like what he said.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, I was like, man, this is something. This is the one thing that's always kind of made me not want to play these games, because everything is so static when it comes to these games. But this game kind of changes that, and I'm like, maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one. I don't know.
Well, they kind of they slightly introduced that in the newer Ace Attorney game. It's not to the extent that they showed in the Famicom trailer. And to kind of give you an idea, Famicom first was released in 1988. I don't know specifically one that's coming from to the West. And I'm saying to the West because it's originally from Japan. It's originally it was released in 1988. My absolute apologies. I definitely should have looked this up beforehand. If it's the same IP that was released in 1988 coming over and being remastered. If that's the case, that's absolutely bonkers, because I've seen the ones that were released in the 80s. But if that's a case where it's just something that was released in the early 2000s, it's still really, really great. And for people who, like me, who loves Ace Attorney Nancy Drew games, but by the way, there's a shit ton of Nancy Drew games. And then Danganronpa, it's really exciting for me because it's usually not something that's highlighted in a direct or even at like a game conference at all. Because a lot of it's just like you either like have to deal with murderers or you're going to get murdered, but like being able to put yourself in a different position for me is really, really exciting. And I always like something where I need to like think and like be decisive of my options. So I'm really, really pumped for it.
I feel like when those games come out, they're more like sidelined a little bit compared to like the bigger announcements, right? When it comes to like these kind of games, but this game, like there's a couple highlights. We're gonna get to a couple of the highlights in this direct, but this was one of them. This was one of them because, like, first I did say this is a fee-ass game. Like, this is as fee as the game you could get right here. But like, I was watching it and I was like, man, this looks really, really good. And it's something like maybe I'm like, maybe I could like do this with like the community or something, right? Like we could play like this kind of game because like your choices matter in these kind of games, right? So I think it'd be kind of fun to kind of jump into this one because I like the art style. I like the way that they've remastered it. Sure, I haven't seen what the previous versions look like, but like for what it looks like right now, this looks good. This looks really damn good.
No, for sure. I mean, these are games that are from the Famicom, which of course is the NES. That's the you know that's so these have been in the Nintendo family for forever. That they're now finally coming. So yeah, the fact that it's showcased is because it was a mainstay in Japan for Nintendo. So the fact that it is now here is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, no, 100%.
I wonder how many of those Famicom games like
probably
are eventually going to make it over here. They probably have like a huge just like list of games.
Where's Mother 3?
But this kind of
I
love
think that already happened.
I'm just joking.
No, Mother 3. I don't think Mother 3 has happened yet.
No.
I think that someone's already made a fan translation of it or something like that.
Oh, well, I'm talking like, yeah.
Legit.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
But I mean, like, the love and care that's going into this game, I feel like not many games I feel like are gonna get that, right? Like the games that you want to get from Famicom or from the NES. So I feel like this is kind of a different thing where like they're putting love, they're putting care into it, they're putting new cutscenes, they're putting more anime style cutscenes and stuff like that. So that's like, yeah, that's
you know, guys,
I think it looks great.
And non-binary people, I was not expecting us to talk this much about Famicom Mysteries, and I'm happy. I'm actually feeling the excitement from all of you that I'm going to play this game now.
Yeah, mystery games are very fun.
Spoilercast?
Yes.
I've been telling you to play
mean,
Danganronpa for years. You have to try Danganronpa.
I have it downloaded.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
those games are so great.
For sure.
Do it.
All right, Frank, can you go ahead and read us through the rest of the little bullet points that are announced at this direct?
So I know Harv was super excited about Project Triangle something. What was it called?
Project Triangle Strategy?
Yeah, there you go. Project Triangle Strategy.
I was excited too.
Harv, hit me with that. What got you hyped about Project Triangle Strategy?
Final Fantasy Tactics, boom.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a Final Fantasy Tactics for freaking years. I need a Final Fantasy Tactics. This genre doesn't get enough love. Okay? Guys, tell me a game that's came out in the last like 10 years that has got the Final Fantasy Tactics like the whole Final Fantasy Tactics like method down when it comes to like these kind of games.
I can't think of any at the top of my head.
Right? One came out recently. I forgot what it was
Into
called.
the Breach?
Is that more of a tactics kind of style game?
My thing is, I'm trying to think of obviously like the Fire Emblem, but that's level based in terms of like Final Fantasy Tactics was also Elevation.
Yeah,
so
Elevation.
I can't think of another game that has Elevation. I want to say it's Into the Breach, which I've played, but I don't remember if there was Elevation involved when it comes to that game. But no, I've been wanting. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced specifically.
Oh, dude, I play. Okay. So I play Tactics Advanced. I finished it. I played it. The judge system was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. But like the game itself was really, really good. But like when it comes to like this got Octopath Traveler vibes, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the art style.
Yeah.
And then you have a tactics gameplay, which is freaking awesome. Like it just looks so good. It feels like it's polished in a way. I don't know if you guys saw that as well. But it feels like they have like the environmental aspect to it as well, where they can put like you can put something on fire and then put it put it out with water and then put lightning on it as well and do like more lightning damage around people, which is awesome. which is a cool little aspect of it. I don't like the name Project Triangle. You say this, but Octopath stayed with their thing. All right, they stayed with that name. So I'm hoping it's not Project Triangle strategy.
Well, they're gonna drop the project. It'll just be triangle strategy.
Triangle strategy, and the Salt and Iron Wars will not be just Salt Iron Wars.
Yeah.
But I think Salt Iron Wars are gonna stay. That. I think they're gonna stay.
The game should just be called Salt Iron Wars. I'm into that.
Yeah. But man, this is the one thing that got me hyped, like overall for the entire direct was this game, because I'm like fiending for a tactical RPG. I want a tactical RPG because like I feel like there's not enough out there, and that Square Enix is making this as well. So like this is perfect.
For the audience out there, obviously screaming at you, why haven't you played Fire Emblem Three Houses? You're talking about a very specific one, right?
Fire Emblem has never really intrigued me, mainly because, well, for one, I never got into Fire Emblem when I was growing up.
Sure. And
the other thing was, like, I feel like the lineage kind of is too long for me to play. Like, there's just too much happening.
They're not connected.
They're not connected? I didn't know that they're not connected. I thought they were all connected and they're all trying to do a thing.
Yeah, think of the new one as, like, Persona meets Harry Potter in a strategy game. Also, fuck J.K. Rowling. But that's what the story of Three Houses. So if you're looking for something, I'm just going to say this. I recommend trying it. I know it's going to be another $100 game that you're going to have to invest in. So if you find it on the secondary market, go for it. But yeah, for sure. But still, we're excited for Project Strategy. 100%.
Project Triangle Strategy looks freaking awesome. Shout out to Phil Jackson for their triangle defense. And that's all I got.
I'm happy you brought that in. Frank, what's the next point?
I was gonna ask Sly. Sly, did you watch the direct?
Yes.
Did you find anything in there that you were hyped about?
I have not been in the Nintendo ecosystem since the GameCube / Game Boy.
That's understandable. So was there anything in there that like almost made you want to buy a Switch at least?
This is the one. This is the direct that needed to do it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, Nintendo games are good. They look good. I'm sure I would enjoy them. It's not worth the investment for me. I'm a broke college student. Like, I don't know. It's just not for me, you know?
I feel that because like they don't discount their games ever. Right? So like
or their consoles.
Their consoles. So you're looking at Breath of the Wild is still $70, which is fucking weird, which came out like 3 years ago, right?
Yes.
So
you're right on that. You know what also sucks about Nintendo consoles? 9 times out of 10, and sometimes you don't have to do this, especially with the GameCube or anything. But 9 times out of 10, you got to buy some fucking like case for it, or they got to buy like a screen protector for it. It's not just you buy the console; you got to buy like a whole accessory pack with it. That's all they've always done that since like the Game Boy and stuff. Even with the Switch, it's just like, yeah, you got to buy a $300 Switch, but you want to keep it nice and cozy. You better buy that screen protector. Yeah. You better buy that case.
You can buy right now. You can buy the case.
You can buy the kind of funny Switch case at roosterteeth.com/store. Sponsored.
Don't give them the plug. They're not sponsored.
I own it. I love it.
Give them the plug.
I own it. I love the case. Please sponsor Rooster Teeth. Buy our podcast, Rooster Teeth.
Buy our podcast. Buy our podcast.
My Switch has been sitting. My Switch has been sitting there, catching dust since like March of last year.
My Switch has been sitting like this for the last like year.
Since Animal Crossing. Since Animal Crossing came out.
My Switch is in the dock, and I'm ready to go play my games.
I'm not a big Switch fan either. I can't. I like to play my stuff at a computer. It's very hard for me to set up.
Full resolution.
It's not even that. It's just I can't concentrate on a game when I'm outside, when I'm out and about. You know what I mean? It's just like I can't find anything that's so not needed to concentrate that I could play out there.
I have
two
like Mario Kart. Frank.
Okay for that.
Where are you going outside these days? And 2, I agree with you.
Because we bring our Switches with us all the time, but we never actually do anything.
I know. We used to take them to the movie theaters all the time, and we never whip it out. You know?
Yeah. I like Fee's reaction there. It's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Say
Yes.
whip.
Hello?
Whipping
No,
out our switches.
I use my Switch specifically for like Ring Fit and then like Just Dance and then Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Those are essentially my go-tos. And even if I want to play something that's on a mobile console, I play Stadia for the most part. Except the last time I think I really sat down and played on my Switch was either for the Animal Crossing, obviously, and then I was playing This Is the Police and This Is the Police 2, which is a game that you can find on PC as well.
Hey, Cab.
I don't have an excuse to play my Switch.
Play...
I played my Switch when I went to work, like when I used to commute to work. I used to play on my Switch on the train, which is like because I have an hour commute to work usually. So like playing the Switch was nice, and then playing the Switch back was really nice as well. But now it's gotten to the point where like I got nothing unless you got a Mario, a Zelda,
exactly,
or a Project Triangle Strategy. I'm not gonna play the Switch at the moment. So
I feel you on that. Okay. I do the same thing. I buy consoles a lot of the time. I'm a PC player, but when I buy a console, 9 times out of 10, like for example, this PS5, it's collecting dust. It's not even plugged in right now.
Oh, dude, right? I'm the same way. I play Demon Souls, and that's it. That's
it.
PS5 just sits there now.
It's an exclusive magnet. That's all it is. It's an exclusive machine. God of War 2, play the shit out of it. Persona 6, play the shit out of it. Anything else, I can give. I have a computer for that. I can care less.
Sly is just shaking their head at us right now.
There's somebody out there. There's somebody out there screaming right now. How dare you not play that PlayStation 5?
Please give us your roast.
I don't even know where it is.
I play Bloodborne and stuff on here. You know, I play those games. I play Dark Souls. I play Demon Souls on this thing. Well, not Dark Souls, but Demon Souls on here. Right, like this. I'm right now caressing my PS5.
I'm excited for Mario Golf. I'm excited to play some golf.
Yes, that will dust off my fucking Switch real quick. Yes. Mario, tell me why you're hyped about Mario.
I want to play Mario Golf so I can play with my friends and play the putt-putt. And I love Wii Sports. Wii Sports is my favorite.
Jesus.
Minus the motion controls, Mario Golf looks so good. It 100%. Looks so good. Minus every course looking the same.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it to a certain extent. But that game looks freaking great.
I'm ready to run speed golf. Let's go.
We're gonna have a golf tournament, right?
Yes.
The PiP golf tournament.
The PiP golf tournament. So who's the best golfer?
Sly, what do you have to say to us?
I just love that Frank was like, the news this week is pretty short. I'll add a couple more stories. And then we talk about Nintendo for an hour.
I already DM'd him. We're cutting the third story. So.
Yeah, we're cutting the third story. But I definitely, the last thing I definitely want to bring up is near and dear to my heart. Nintendo. Where the fuck is Shin Megami Tensei? Atlas, where the fuck is Shin Megami Tensei? Actually, double that. Where the fuck is Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne? Because that was announced at the Direct, and I haven't seen it. Where is it, Nintendo? Where?
Is it 5? Shin Megami Tensei was 5, right? They announced 5?
It's the 5th one, yes.
Yeah, they announced that, right? At one of the things? Yeah.
They did.
One of the Directs?
Yeah, and we've gotten news of it, but we haven't got. I don't think we've gotten any gameplay for it yet.
No.
We've gotten cutscenes, and that's really kind of about it. It still says 2021. Okay, and then Nocturne got a HD re-release coming out too, and it's nowhere to be found. So I want my really hard, RPGs. Nintendo, please put them back. Also, Fees disappeared.
Why does this feel like it's like a Bayonetta 3 kind of thing right now?
I hope it's not. I know Atlas is better than that, but I know they don't put enough love into their Shin Megami Tensei series.
I'm not talking about love or anything. I'm talking more about like maybe you guys announced this too early.
Probably. Yeah, it's possible.
Right? Because I feel like Bayonetta 3 comes into that same kind of aspect where like they announced Bayonetta 3 and now we don't know anything about Bayonetta 3. Like we don't know where that game's going, what that game is, what's happening with that game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Metroid Prime 4, like I know a lot of people thought Metroid Prime 4 was going to be here, but like sure, that one like changes studio. That one changed studios recently, right? That went to Retro Studios like what, a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah, they restarted the whole development. That was what, 2 years ago? Yeah. So yeah, they restarted development.
I feel like maybe them announcing Shin Megami Tensei was like too early in a way, right? And
yeah, I mean, primarily
maybe they should have waited a year or two, maybe, to actually say something about it.
It's weird because that series is primarily, I believe, on the 3DS at the time. Like we would get mainline Shin Megami Tensei series on 3DS, so this was obviously the biggest like leap forward for that. And there's just been no news other than like a story trailer, and that's kind of about it.
Yeah. But what I guess like we're gonna see it on Switch for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Switch version is coming out. I just wonder if they maybe just announced it a little bit too early. It's kind of like what I feel about Elder Scrolls 6, where people are like asking about it, like, "Where's Elder Scrolls 6? Where is this game?" And I feel like they just announced it and like, you know what, it's coming.
Yeah, people forget that like Bethesda also has a game coming out before that, and it's called Starfield. And they don't even have gameplay for that yet. So
yeah, I just be like, maybe they just jumped the gun on that announcement.
It's totally possible.
Wait a couple of years for that.
Yeah, and then of course No More Heroes 3. I love the No More Heroes series so much, and I'm glad.
I have never played this game. I've never played a No More Heroes game.
They're all on
so
the Switch.
Good, Harv.
They're all on the Switch.
So I don't know what. When I saw this trailer, I was very confused of what is happening. And there was arcade features. There was a lot of pixel art, and I was like, "What is happening in this trailer right now?"
This game is just an amalgamation of references to other pieces of media. The game does not take itself seriously at all. It plays like Scott Pilgrim in a way. It's a Scott Pilgrim story, or like you have to fight all the assassins and be the number one assassin, kind of like how Scott Pilgrim, gotta fight all the boyfriends to be the number one boyfriend. But it references so many other games and so many other pieces of media that I don't think anybody can play this game and go, I don't get any of these references, because there's a Star Wars reference like right off the bat.
I mean, he has basically a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw the trailer and I saw that and I was like, honestly, when I saw it, I was like, I'm out. I don't know what this is. I'm not gonna play it. Yeah. I'm out.
I would say play the first two. Play the first one. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. But they're really just fun games.
They are all on the Switch, so you can play them. They are available.
I believe play them. Yeah. I believe this is Suda 51, right?
It is Suda 51.
Yeah. So it's a Suda 51 game. So if you played any other Suda 51 games, you already know what you're getting into with No More Heroes.
Yeah.
And then I know you were not that hyped about the Skyward Sword announcement, Harv, when I was watching your stream. We were talking about Wind Waker though, and the big rumor in the mill right now is that Wind Waker HD is coming, but is going to be saved for the Legend of Zelda anniversary later this year.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna unpack this for you guys. All right, I'm gonna pack this for you.
We're already here.
Skyward Sword.
We've established a house, so go ahead.
Yes, I'm gonna unpack all the cardboard boxes here.
For all the skeletons in the closet coming out.
Yeah. So Skyward Sword is a prequel to every other Zelda game. It is like the initial Zelda.
We don't need to go that deep. We don't need to go telling the whole story.
You're
we
telling
just have to say,
like this.
It's a game that no one liked. It's coming out.
It's a game that sucks. It is.
Yeah, talk your shit. Yeah,
it is not good.
Fuck Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword is not a good game.
Fuck bomb bowling.
I am glad that they took motion controls out of it and they can have button controls. I'm glad that they did that. But the game is just not good. And the fact that like you start with an announcement, like I get it because they probably want to do a Breath of the Wild direct themselves. Mm-hmm. They want to do a direct that is just Breath of the Wild, where they want to like announce the game or announce like maybe a release date or a release window, gameplay, and a story trailer. I get that 100%. The problem is that you couldn't put Wind Waker before Skyward Sword.
I mean, like, would you rather have Wind Waker or Skyward Sword?
Wind Waker, 1,000%, 1,000% Wind Waker. Because Wind Waker is such a better game. Like it is, that is like upper echelon Zelda. Skyward Sword is like
agreed.
Yeah, Skyward Sword is like
tech demo.
Why is this a Zelda game?
Yeah, it's a tech demo disguised as a Legend of Zelda game.
it feels like a tech demo when them trying to do with motion controls with the Wiimote and the nunchucks, right? Like I think they tried to put a Zelda game on the Wii and tried to put those controls in there and be like, this is how it feels to be Link, for example, right? But I just I feel like they missed the mark on that, and I don't think they like the remaster doesn't look that great either. I don't know.
It just
But
looks like
maybe
they
it's just me.
up-resed it to 1080p.
Yeah, it just doesn't look great.
Yeah.
And them adding button controls is awesome. Like it's cool. It's cool because like I said before when Sly was talking about Concrete Genie, I am not a big fan of motion controls, so I'm glad that they added this. But the game itself is just not good.
I do want to make a note about the motion controls, but before, Fee, did you actually have something, or were you cracking your knuckles again? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no. I did have something to say.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, like, out of like essentially a lot of Zelda games, I think Wind Waker like was actually my favorite, and being able to like having the notion that that was going to be announced to find out that it's this other Zelda game that I'm not excited about whatsoever. Like, I know Zelda is like a beloved series by all means. Like, Zelda's great, but Wind Waker just like I found myself like out of any Zelda game, I sat down for hours and didn't realize that I played 10 hours of Wind Waker because you get so immersed in the actual storyline, the quests, the actual like being able to sail on a ship and do all this other stuff. I thought that was so cool. And then seeing this come out, I was very disappointed because everyone was just like, they're going to talk about Wind Waker. And I'm like, whoa. And then it's just like, oh.
Oh,
you just
no.
like slowly move your... like, I understand. Like, I completely respect wanting to keep that until the anniversary and then showing that off. But I will admit that was definitely a low point for me in the direct.
No, for sure. I did want to say something about the motion control aspect because it was part of the game. The reason why I didn't buy that game to begin with, because I didn't necessarily enjoy it in Twilight Princess. I did want to point something out that happened on my old stomping grounds, youtube.com/DualShockers. They released a video about basically what is different, obviously, in this new HD remaster, and they made it a surprise accessibility video, and sort of made accessibility a joke in the video. And I want to point out that is something I would never have done. They are shitty for that. Ben Bayless, of course, was very outspoken about this, called it out, and I'm 100% behind him. I just want to call that out because I think that adding, obviously, the new controls is awesome for people that have had problems with the fact that with the motor skills and stuff that to be able to do the waggle and stuff like that. So this gives them the thing. And I think that the way they presented it in that video was shitty. So I just wanted to bring that up specifically. But I'm happy now that I can enjoy the game now because the now controller option is there. And maybe the game will be better for it. It probably won't, but I'm still going to give it a shot now because it has actual controls. So
I don't want to put a preconceived, like, I feel like I'm putting a preconceived notion in everybody that this is a shitty game. For a Zelda game, this is not like when you look at Zelda games that have came out previous to this is probably like the lower end of them.
Sure,
it's not like a shitty game. Like it's
still one game of the year.
Yeah,
somehow, but it's still one game of the year.
It
somehow
might be a
Dragon
sleeper.
Age game of the year, Dragon Age Inquisition one game of the year that 1 year.
Have you? Oh, okay, remember.
We're not getting into that. We're going to talk about the last. There was a Smash character. Nobody gives a shit here about it. Does anybody give a shit about the last character?
The Smash character.
Xenoblade fans. Sorry.
Another sword fighter in Smash.
Oh, Tiger probably loves a Xenoblade. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I'm sorry. I love you all. I'm just kidding. But,
shocker, it's a sword fighter.
Good. It's actually a sword. Is the actual fighter.
Shocking.
They just added a sword to Smash this time.
Okay. Frank, can you tell us our second and last story? Because we went pretty hard.
Our second story does fall in line with kind of one of the core values of Point in Progress, so I wanted to make sure we talked about it this week. Our second article for this week comes from gamesindustry.biz. Microsoft launches gaming accessibility testing platform for developers by Hayden Taylor. So guys, this week, Microsoft announced a new testing platform for developers to have their games tested under quote-unquote the Xbox accessibility guidelines. Devs will receive feedback in the form of notes, screenshots, and reproduction steps to where issues are found. What do you guys think about this?
Can I yell about this?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm
all
very
you.
Talk your
excited.
shit.
This is incredible. Should this have been a thing forever ago? Yes. We're not going to dwell on that. It's here now. It's awesome. It's amazing. It does everything that it needs to be right now, as in a lot of developers just go, I don't know how to do accessibility, so we're not going to. They're saying, nah, that's not going to fly anymore. You have so many resources at your fingertips. They're giving you so much help. It was made, with consulting actual disabled people, which is so important to be like, hey, listen to what we need. Don't try to make this up. We know what we need, just ask us. They did that right. I love it. I'm all for it. I just love that they're putting their hand out and saying, hey, we want to help make our platform better, so we're going to help you make your games. I wish it was mandatory for all games going onto their platform. I know they're not going to do that. Maybe in the future, hopefully, it can be a part of CERT or whatever to get onto Microsoft platforms, make it mandatory. But for now, this is a great first step in the right direction. Fee, take it away.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I just want to commend Xbox and Microsoft. When they get called out on their shit, they actually do something about it, whereas other actual platforms are like, oh, we'll say, oh no, we're so sorry, and then not do anything. I feel like Microsoft has really shown over the past, year, let alone 5 years, that when people call them out on their shit, they're like, you know what? You're right. Let's find a way to fix this, and so we can be more accessible and more understanding of platform. Because I know for a fact earlier on this year when they were talking about adjusting their payment system, that they're like, you know what? You're right. I need to fix this. And they are doing this now. And I think that, just like Sly said, yes, this definitely should have been something that should have been implemented a lot sooner. But they're the first people that are probably, and honestly, they're not even probably, they are the first ones that are like, hey, we recognize that we do have people that accessibility is definitely something we need to keep in mind in our games and our platform. And I am definitely hoping that within maybe the next few years that they realize that this is a mandatory thing for all of their games to be able to allow everyone to be able to access it, because I don't think games should be limited to just, hey, here's one group that can be able to play it, whereas everyone should be able to get access to it.
The one thing I want to say about, I agree with all you. I agree with Sly. I agree with Fee about accessibility and that it's just when you say, Sly, that accessibility, I hope it's going to be mandatory for for the game stuff. I think it's going to be in the next probably 2 or 3 years. I know we're late on it right now. 100% we're late, but I think in about 3 years,
development time.
2 to 3 years, I think it's going to be just a necessity at this point. Because it's more people are getting into gaming. More people are getting into this platform of Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. And I feel like the more people you have, the more accessibility you have to have when it comes to this platform.
Sly, I'm going to go to you, then I'm going to go to Frank.
Yeah, the two big things I want. First, I want every single company to adopt this policy and this strategy. Make this a thing. Hey, PlayStation, get your shit together. Nintendo, especially Nintendo, get your shit together. There's no excuses. Microsoft has shown you can do it. It's possible. Second, I really hope this becomes a part of certification for games, because indie games usually do this already. Indie games, if you reach out to them and are like, hey, I can't play your game and I want to, they will change their game. And I want to see that energy from AAA games. I want it to be mandatory. I want to see it from them, especially because they have the money to do it. So I really hope that this becomes a part of certification standards for all games in the next 5 years, maximum, right? And so I think this is an amazing first step. Shout out Microsoft for, listening when people call them out. And this, I'm just so excited to see what the future will be after this is implemented.
100%. I think that's great.
Yeah, I am hoping this is gonna be the thing. And you said 5 years, Sly. I'm saying like I'm hoping 2 to 3. Like I'm being more of like I'm being optimistic about this. But I know you're probably right, Sly, when it comes to like 5 years at this point, because like everything moves so slow when it comes to like the AAA space. When it comes to like PlayStation, when it comes, especially like you said, especially Nintendo. Like they are like they haven't got their online structure right, let alone what their accessibility is going to be like. But like yeah. More people are getting into this space, guys. More people are getting into the space. More people are playing games. We got to be more accessible for everybody to play games.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what game it is. It needs to be more accessible for everybody to experience games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think anything could be said better. So, okay, that was a long version of course, us doing the news. Which good. It was some heated discussions. We had to break it down, guys. We had to do that. So I'm glad that we did. But we will be moving on to our next rotating segment. Which last week, of course, we did hot takes. This week we're doing the pitch. Which look at the graphic. Oh, cool graphic.
Pitch. Shout out to anybody who watches ESPN, especially the jump. The pitch.
The pitch. Now, usually we talk about this, and we usually put in the doc, and I don't see a name on the doc, so I believe we agreed it was Harv. Is that correct?
I'm gonna go back on my shit again.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
and like
Before you go, let me just explain what it is. The pitch, of course, is we are now we're switching from the hot takes, and we're switching to sort of like a recommendation segment, and we're dedicating it to obviously this week to Harv's recommendation of whatever he's about to say. I think I have an idea. Here we go. Go ahead, Harv.
No, I feel like a broken record at this point about Soulsborne games. I do feel like a broken record about these kind of games. And the one thing I want to say about these, okay, so when it comes to like, so I'm recommending 2 games that people need to play. 2 games. One is Bloodborne. One is Sekiro. Because these games are so different when it comes to the Soulsborne strategy or Soulsborne kind of gameplay. People go into these games thinking like they're difficult, they're hard, they're punishing. They aren't that punishing as long as you're willing to learn, right? So I recommend playing Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Sorry, I recommend playing Bloodborne, and I recommend playing Sekiro. As long as you're willing to like learn how the games are played and adapt to those games. They are games that will give you story, they'll give you lore, and they will give you satisfying combat and satisfying gameplay mechanics that will kind of make it seem like what I've been seeing from the Kind of Funny crew so far with like Blessing playing and with even Greg playing for the first time, which I was like, what? He's playing Bloodborne? Okay. Seeing people playing it for the first time makes me so happy. So happy because they're experiencing these stories for the first time. They're experiencing the lore for the first time. They're experiencing this gameplay loop that is very satisfying when you fight a boss and you beat the boss after like how many times trying to like understand the moveset and stuff like that. Because the games are punishing if you're not willing to learn the way that the games are supposed to be played. And once you learn it and you play the games and you figure out what the fighting style is for each of the bosses, the games just feel so fluid. They feel so good, and they feel very satisfying after you beat the bosses. And after you go through a story beat. And the same thing I can feel about Sekiro as well. The combat in that is probably perfected in a way with the parry and the Soulsborne strategy of what they do, what FromSoft does. It feels like it is the most polished of all of them as well. So I recommend both of those games mainly because they're so different, but they're by the same company. And just seeing the contrast between Bloodborne and Sekiro is such it's so much, but like you can see the DNA of both of them. Like you can see the DNA that is like connecting both of them together in a way. So I recommend Bloodborne and and Sekiro at the same time. So that's my recommendation this year.
Harv's on his bullshit, so I'm on mine. Hi, I'm disabled. Will they give me an easy mode?
Probably not.
They will not give you an easy mode. No, they will not give you easy mode. I wish they would have more like I wish they would have more accessibility options. Like I'm on the camp of more accessibility options than I am on easy mode in a way, right? Because like I want people to experience the game itself, and so like how it's because like we had this discussion before. I think we've had this discussion before where like you have to, as long as they tune the easy mode to where it's supposed to be, not to the point where say Star Wars Fallen Order, where they have this mode and they just kind of decrement something or increment something in a way, right? And it just doesn't feel right. It just does not feel right. As long as they take like if they had some sort of easy mode and they put some decrements to like certain bosses and like their attacks and stuff like that, it would work. But I don't trust companies to do that, and it would. I feel like it would lessen it if they had that in the game. But I do wish that they had accessibility options in the game, like Celeste does, for example.
Conversation we had off podcast. So to reiterate for the listeners and viewers, basically how we feel about accessibility and easy modes in games is that if easy modes and hard modes, both ways, if they're done well, they're good. But so often they're just either adding HP or reducing HP, and that's not, integral to how the game is designed. No. When I say I want an easy mode in Bloodborne, I want, maybe a little bit extra help in certain specific areas. I'm not saying just put all the bosses HP down and I can just mow through them. No. I want to enjoy the story and I want to enjoy the experience of playing a Soulsborne, but I physically cannot. And exactly. That's all I'm saying.
That's where I'm saying, like, I wish they would put more accessibility in that aspect of it, which I'm hoping Elden Ring, knock on wood, that still exists, that game has something for accessibility, because I know how Bloodborne and like just Souls games in general are so inaccessible for a lot of players because of like their difficulty and what kind of mechanics they have and stuff like that. So like I want them to have the fact, like I don't know the solution to this, but I'm hoping that they add some sort of accessibility, because I know, Sly, you would probably have a better solution than I do when it comes to this kind of stuff.
I just wanted to clarify, like, easy modes are an accessibility option, and so, like, yes, I would like more customizable than maybe just an easy mode, but that's an easy first step to, having another system of a way to play your game, but in a little bit different perspective.
100%.
I just want to clarify. Easy mode is an accessibility setting, and they don't have it. There are other ways to do accessibility, but that is one. And I just love to see more from them.
Mario? No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, Sly. I agree with you.
Yeah, and I agree as well. And then I'm going to pass this to Frank if he has something to say. But basically, I hope that in a lot of ways it's their structure, their easy mode and their hard mode, in the same way that's sort of like I feel like it's an unwritten rule, but if you ever play like a Mortal Kombat game, you fight through the story mode and you are kicking ass, and eventually you hit a wall where you're getting your ass kicked. But then I noticed that like after 3 fights, after 3 times I lose, I noticed that they fight differently than I was anticipating. And then I somehow feel like I get the upper hand. Not so much I get the upper hand, it's just that it's lessened the value in terms of like the density of what I'm fighting against. And I wonder if there is a middle ground to that could be applied to this or applied to other games.
There could be to a certain extent where like the thing about like what kind of scares people about the Bloodborne and the Souls series is like the repetitiveness of it. But I think of you just like embracing the repetitiveness, right?
Sure.
Like I remember playing there's a boss in Sekiro, Genichiro, it took me 6 hours to beat this boss. Right? It took me 6 hours to beat this boss. And like, yeah, I'm watching you guys right now. I'm watching all you guys right now, and you guys are saying no.
I'm just like I've done the same thing, so I know how you feel.
No, I can't do that. And but the thing is, like, I guess I just love that. I love getting killed over and over and over again because I want to.
That's one way.
I want to learn. I want to learn. want
is
to
the
learn
title of this segment. I love getting killed.
over and over. But I want to learn. That's the thing, right? Like
Yeah.
I want to learn how the fight is played, and how I want to learn how the moveset, because the moveset doesn't change. The moveset does not change in this entire fight. You just have to learn when you need to do certain things. That's the biggest thing. But like you have to, it's just something that I enjoy a lot. So
Sure.
Again, so I recommend Bloodborne, Sekiro, guys. Seriously, go play it. I think you guys will be very, very surprised, especially for Bloodborne. Bloodborne is a very surprising game, and it's something that a lot of people are going to resonate with, because the lore and the combat itself is just so integral to the game itself, and it just like it drives you to like finish it. So I recommend those two games 100%.
Frank, did you have any comments, Frank, about this?
Yes. So I just want to preface this. I agree with Harv 100%. I think games should have better accessibility. I think the idea of difficulty settings have always been bullshit. I play every single one of my games on the hardest difficulty possible. And the one thing I've learned about it is it's literally just let's up the damage, lower the HP, call it a day. That's it. That's usually most of the time what devs do, and it's absolutely dumb bullshit. I'm glad you mentioned Fallen Order, because I still have a video of just like we're gonna have Souls-like gameplay, but we're not gonna make it as fine-tuned as Souls. So when you actually get hit in the game on like what was it, Grandmaster or whatever they call it difficulty, yeah, you get hit once. It nine times out of 10, sometimes it's not really your fault, but you're gonna take half your HP off of it because it's on hard mode.
I finished that game I finished that on the hardest difficulty, and it was the worst thing imaginable, because like there is that game is not polished enough for it to be that level of difficult, for that level of difficulty. No, that game is not polished enough to do that.
Fee, do you have something to say about this? I see you. No, you're just shaking your head. Okay.
Especially that one planet
where
Darth Maul comes from.
Okay. Go ahead, Fee.
No, what I was gonna say was, like, for me, I tried to play Bloodborne on stream. I did not make it out of the first town. I could not with that game. It's just so difficult for me. One, my attention span. Two, probably some borderline because I'm female, so they never diagnosed me. I just don't have the attention span to be able to like freaking complete that type of game. I appreciate it, and I love, like, I'll sit and watch Harv play those types of games because I cannot play through those games. Two, it would seem like it's something I'm interested in because I love like fantasy games that are like creepy. Creepy fantasy games, give me all of them. But I cannot specifically play it myself.
Well, Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If somebody was with you playing it at the same, like if somebody was with you playing it, would you have a better time? If you had somebody just like talking to you while you were playing at the same time, would you have a better time with it?
So what I'm hearing is our first stream is going to be Fee playing Bloodborne with Harv coaching her through it. That's what I'm hearing.
Down for the stream. I'm down for
Could be wrong, but that's what I got from that.
I'm down because I know you're not the only one that feels that way. Like I feel like a lot of people feel like that way. And I know Blessing from Kind of Funny, he plays this, he said the same thing as well when he had Imran with him the entire time, right? And like I guess Andy felt the same way when he was playing it with his chat, right?
Same thing with
Greg.
Greg.
Feel like maybe exactly. Same with Greg as well. So like I feel like maybe you need somebody just to talk to at the same time and just play the game. Yeah, just like Sherpa your way through the game and stuff like that. Because like I will say, Bloodborne is obtuse as fuck. It is obtuse. Like you don't know where to go. There are so many different ways. You fight a Bloodstarved beast and you're like, where do I go after this? Well, that was just an optional boss. You're like, what? What? That was an optional boss?
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
Yeah. So like it's just like one of those things where you have somebody to like kind of like run you through the game and talk to you about it and stuff like that. I am down for that stream. I am down for that. I would have so much fun with that.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Done.
I did have some other stuff to mention too.
Good. You still have time.
on the topic of difficulty, you know what I think Bloodborne could, or any From Software game could do actually. The main contention of difficulty on those games is obviously learning your timings, learning how to just not get hit. And I think what you could do for something like that is have a test in the beginning of the game if you need it. Whereas like, okay, we're going to give you a prompt. Let's see, what your reaction time is like, and we'll adjust the game accordingly.
One thing I will say, the game actually benefits of you getting hit. That's the thing about Bloodborne, right? If you get hit, if you attack fast enough, you get your HP back. So like your hit really never existed.
Yeah, but it's like it's
Right.
more timings. It's more timings is the difficult, and for a lot of people,
the timing comes into like parrying attacks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's where all the time. But the thing is, like every character, every monster that you fight has a different window. So I feel like it might be a little bit tougher. But unless they like just said like enemies at this stature have this window, or like at least this kind of window, and then enemies of this stature have this window, and then enemies of this stature have this kind of window. Just like put it down to like 3 different kind of sub levels for parrying for parry attacks or for visceral attacks.
Yeah, like Guitar Hero. If you guys remember, Guitar Hero Rock Band had something very similar, where if you go into the options and you set it up, it'll calibrate it for you. And even if you're a little off, let's say your motor controls aren't there, the game would adjust it accordingly. So even if you're a little off, you can still play the game. You can still have the rhythm of the game, just your own rhythm. And I think the Soulsborne games could definitely benefit in doing something like that as well.
Well said. Yeah, for sure.
I didn't mean this to be like a big conversation.
This is a breakout segment. It's supposed to be. So don't you
I was
worry.
Like, I'm gonna recommend Bloodborne, and I'm gonna play Sekiro.
No, I'm happy. No, because we needed it to be a little longer. Thank you so much.
And V, if you're down for it, I'm excited. Like
I'm honestly, I'm 100% down for that. I know for a fact that, like, here's me trying to play a game as a melee character is, like, I'm typically the person that you see in, like, a movie or, like, I'm gonna say an anime, where it's, like, a stupid person who's like, I have a sword! I can go kill people! It's like, you need to be strategic about it. And I'm like, I have a healer! And it's just like, no, you don't! And I'm just like, woo!
So Muso games are great for you.
Have someone...
You love Muso games. That's literally all it is.
It's just like I typically play a healer, like for the most part, shocker, and then I'll play like melee classes. Whenever I've played melee classes, I've always had a healer. So when I just don't have the healer, I just forget.
Sure.
And then I'm like, I'm gonna kill a bunch of people, and then I'm like, why is there a bunch of people behind me? This is why like DPS classes just don't work properly. And you can hear my MMORPG while I specifically start talking in a bunch of acronyms, but yeah, so I'm super down to play.
All right, Fee, you know what else?
They're fun series.
No,
I'm holding you to that. I'm legit holding you to that now. So
I'm holding that
I
to you.
will 100% play it.
I am holding that to you as well, Fee. But you know what? Also, I think you're down for. I think you're down for listener questions.
That is correct, Mario.
Yes.
This is the very first time that we've ever specifically talked about that.
We didn't have.
And so-
This is not
17
take
takes
5. Fee, can you please take it away?
We
And
definitely,
yes, give us our listener questions for this week.
of course. All right, so we're gonna start off apparently with Kale Del Ryder.
That's right.
Thank you so much for the question, by the
Love
way.
you, Kale.
We're starting off mucho love, specifically asking us DS Lite or the 3DS XL. So
Hot take.
let's start off with you.
DS Lite. My eyes don't
Why?
work properly all the time. The 3DS fucking sucked, bro. DS Lite was where it's at.
You could turn the 3D off.
did the 3D like wasn't the 3D like not great?
Weird. Yeah, but it looked weird if you turned it off.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
you. on
They
that.
made specific ones without 3D in it, so it's like
No,
I mean, I
but
guess
some
we're
games
talking
like just didn't look
specifically about
right.
this model, I guess.
Yeah, some games just didn't look right on especially on the XL. You can definitely see there's some weird
Yeah.
looking bugs with certain games.
I'm just gonna still pick the 3DS XL only because you could play all the DS games on the system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the most. It's the system that literally you do everything in. So that's why I'm picking 3DS XL. No other argument.
No, I agree. I think the Sony PlayStation Portable. Instead of all of those, because fuck Nintendo, this had some cool JRPG. I'm trying to figure out where on the screen I'll hold it with this hand instead. The Sony PlayStation Portable, right? You have this piece of shit right here, the 3DS. You know what I mean? It's okay. You know, it folds open. Is weird. It's whatever.
That was nifty.
This is cool. This is cool. It's just the screen, and then the top comes off like that, and you just put some discs in there.
Yeah,
that's my choice. But if I had to choose between the two, I choose the smaller version of the 3DS.
I mean, one had Netflix, the other one had Still Waiting on UMD. You know? So.
Yeah, you're right.
So it is what it is.
Ouch.
Ouch. All right.
I never got into the Nintendo.
I had the. Oh, continue.
I was just saying I never got into the Nintendo handhelds except Game Boy SP and the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, and the Game Boy. Like I stopped after SP, and that was it.
Interesting.
That's where I stopped when it came to any of the Nintendo DS, DS Lite, 3DS, 3DS Lite, whatever the hell they were called after that. I feel like they had the Wii and the Wii U versions of like all the 3DS consoles.
Okay, there's like a bajillion different versions.
Two DS. New 2DS.
Yeah, exactly.
New 3DS.
Exactly. I just couldn't keep up anymore, dude.
I'm done with this question. Move on.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I was just gonna say I own both. I personally liked the new DS, like the 3DS, which was the small. Like Frank said, it's a smaller version. Yeah, exactly. I have the specifically like pure white one with the colored button. I really enjoyed that one. I will be honest, I did get the DS Lite when I was younger. I'm not going to specifically date myself, but I remember I was in the parking lot with my mom. I opened up the box. I was in the back seat with my dog, and he clawed my actual like the bottom portion of it. Oof. Like before we left Walmart. So I still think I have that DS somewhere in that closet. But there is like a little chip on the top left-hand side. So I'll admit I probably like the 3DS a little bit more. Mostly because I remember when I played the DS Lite, I played it mostly for Trauma Center, which was a whole ordeal. So
yeah, I'm all about that
probably
new 3DS
the
XL.
3DS.
So what you guys are saying is like you guys like the Lite version more compared to the XL version, like like majority wise. I know Mario, you're on the other side of that one.
Bigger is better, you know what I'm saying?
Not that bad on these things,
but
it's
like
really not.
I'm seeing more people like the light version of like the portables than they like the bigger version of portables.
Because you can't put the big one in your fucking pocket. The big one's just too big.
Yeah.
So I guess that is our show. That is episode 2 of the Point in Progress podcast. We've done it. We've made it. We are here. Thank you so much for everyone listening. And of course, you'll continue to hopefully follow us as we continue on this long journey through podcasting land. So thank you so much. Sly, if you can, give everyone where they can find you on the net.
Slyclone MC. It's underneath me or in the transcript. I'm not going to spell it. Finger guns.
Fiona, where can people find you on the net?
People can find me at Zeranix. I'm not going to spell it. It is under my name. It also conflicts because everyone says Z differently. You can also see me each and every week over at the Penultimate Conquest, where I talk about the final season of A Titan. Thumbs up. Sad times. Good. Yay.
Frank, where can people find you on the net?
You can find me at Port in Progress and at Venom Unfit Snake. I'm not doing anything right now other than this, so that's what I'm doing.
All right, fantastic. Harv, where can we find you on the net?
Poof. You can find me at Beard in the Hair on every social media except YouTube. That is Beard in the Hair Gaming. I do a weekly podcast on content creation with small streamers. Talk about why they make the content that they do, what gives them motivation, what they do, how they got into content creation, and where they see their content going forward. You can also see me here at Point of Progress with the podcast weekly, and hopefully soon with some more video as it like what do they call that? What do they call those kind of videos?
Content?
Video essay?
Like more video essay content, yeah. More video essay kind of content that I want to make for this channel specifically. So I'm excited to get started at that at some point. So
No. Yeah, I can't wait for that for sure. And of course, you can find me here only at Point in Progress. You can follow me also at twitch.tv/thatMarioRivera, youtube.com/thatMarioRivera. I have my URL. We're trying to get our URL. If you could please, we have 20 followers away from our subscribers from our YouTube channel. Please give us our URL. Otherwise, you can find our podcast at Point in Progress, but just by typing in YouTube. You can also find us in all your podcasting services. If there's a podcast service that is not on, yell at Sly. Sly will fix it.
Yes, yell at me.
Yes, 100%. Of course, we also have a Discord channel. Please come and hang out with us. This is where we pull our questions, we pull our spicy takes from. So please visit us there. It will be in our link tree. It will be probably in the description of this video, and of course in any of the descriptions that we do. I want to thank you so much for listening, and until next week,
Take care.
take care. Progress made.
Stay pipping. I don't know.
Progress made.
Progress made is it,
Let's
baby.
go. Let's go.
Progress made.
Go!
Oh, yeah, let's go. Progress made.
Bro,
Yes.
that's what should be in the banner. Progress.
Yeah. Progress made. That is a great tagline right there. Let's go.
Yes.
Guys, I feel
Mario
bad.
finally got it. Mario finally got the